Hi everybody, and welcome to Movie Recaps with Brit. Today, we will be taking a look at a movie titled Upgrade. Without further ado, let's get started. In the distant future, Gray Trace resides with his spouse Asher in a technologically advanced home. He works as a mechanic, while Asher is employed at a tech company named Cobalt. Gray escorts Asher to a concealed location to meet his client, Aaron Keane. At this meeting, Aaron demonstrates a highly innovative computer chip called STEM, which has significant potential in the fields of science and medicine. While on their way back home, Gray and Asher attempt to have a private moment in their self-driving car. However, the car takes an unexpected route through Gray's old neighborhood, seemingly due to hacking. As a result of the car crash in a junkyard, both Gray and Asher sustain injuries. Soon after, they are grabbed by 4 individuals led by Fisk. They assault him, while Fisk shoots Asher and another henchman shoots Gray in the back, leaving him paralyzed. Despite his injuries, Gray attempts to communicate with Asher, who tragically passes away. Consequently, Gray becomes a quadriplegic and undergoes an extended hospitalization period, with his mother Pamela assisting in his adaptation to the new situation. During this time, he encounters Detective Cortez, who is investigating the assailants responsible for hurting him and killing Asher. To aid the investigation, the authorities analyze surveillance footage from drones present during the incident, but they lack any leads on the identity of the culprits. Later on, Aaron visits Gray and proposes an opportunity for him to regain the ability to walk, by allowing STEM to be implanted in his back. Initially hesitant, Gray's perspective changes when Aaron suggests that Asher would have desired him to walk again. Gray undergoes the procedure and commits to a non-disclosure agreement, ensuring his silence about STEM. As a result, he successfully regains his motor functions and the ability to walk. Returning home secretly, Gray begins to hear a voice, which surprisingly belongs to STEM. Initially alarmed, Gray soon realizes that STEM is composed and eager to offer assistance. STEM accesses the drone footage of the murder, providing clearer images of the criminals. Gray learns that Fisk used a concealed gun in his hand to shoot Asher. Despite his urge to inform Cortez, STEM cautions Gray that the footage seen through STEM won't suffice as evidence against the goons. Nonetheless, STEM manages to identify one of the goons, Cirque, by recognizing a tattoo on his wrist. Gray locates Cirque's residence and forcibly enters it. STEM advises Gray to check the messages on Cirque's computer table, which reveal references to a bar in Gray's old neighborhood known as Old Dog. As Cirque arrives home, he quickly discovers Gray's presence and launches an attack. In the midst of the confrontation, Gray grants STEM permission to assume full control. With STEM's assistance, Gray adept evades Cirque's assaults and delivers precise counterattacks. When Cirque brandishes a knife and attempts to stab Gray, Gray retaliates by disarming Cirque and fatally injuring him with a slash from the mouth to the ears. Overwhelmed by the realization of taking a life, Gray experiences nausea. To cover up any evidence of his involvement, STEM assists Gray in cleaning the crime scene. Subsequently, Aaron meets with Gray, having monitored STEM's activities and becoming aware of Cirque's death. Aaron asserts that he was unaware of STEM's ability to communicate with him. Despite this revelation, Aaron instructs Gray not to pursue any further actions. Cortez examines additional drone footage, following the inspection of Cirque's body at the morgue. In the footage, she spots Gray moving in his wheelchair. She decides to visit him to inquire about his presence there. Despite knowing that he could use his disability as an alibi, Gray fabricates a story while remaining in his wheelchair. In his wheelchair, Gray visits Old Dog and addresses the entire bar, seeking anyone who might have information about his wife's murder. Tolan comes forward and confesses to being present during the incident. Subsequently, Tolan, accompanied by a couple of other goons, attempts to harm Gray in a back room. However, STEM takes control, allowing Gray to overpower them. Gray subdues Tolan and resorts to using a knife to extract information about Fisk's identity. STEM cautions Gray about Aaron's attempt to manually deactivate him, which would render Gray immobile once more. STEM provides an address where Gray can locate a hacker named Jamie, who can reboot him. Gray abandons his wheelchair to run in search of Jamie. After Gray's departure, Fisk arrives at the bar hours later and discovers Tolan's lifeless body. Using memory footage from a camera embedded in Tolan's eye, Fisk witnesses Gray repeatedly mentioning the address given to him by STEM. Fisk confronts the bartender, blaming him for Tolan's death. In response, the bartender brandishes a gun, but Fisk uses microscopic bots to incapacitate the bartender by sending them up his nose, causing internal damage. Gray locates the hacker's apartment just as his motor functions begin to fail. Jamie successfully reboots him using the code written on Gray's arm, but they spot Fisk and his accomplice, Jeffries, approaching on the security cameras. To evade them, Jamie and her hacker allies quickly depart before STEM can complete the reboot process. Fisk and Jeffries find Gray, prompting STEM's return. In a confrontation, Gray fights the two villains, leading to a chase during which Jeffries attempts to shoot Gray with his gun hand. However, Gray seizes Jeffrey's wrist, causing him to accidentally shoot himself. Upon returning home, Gray's mother, Pamela, witnesses him walking. He confesses the truth to her but requests that she keep it a secret. Shortly after, Cortez arrives at the house to inquire further, since she found Gray's wheelchair outside Old Dog. To explain his absence, Gray fabricates another story, claiming he was trying to be a hero but was attacked by someone who stole his wheelchair. Once Cortez departs, Gray attempts to locate Fisk but realizes that Cortez is tailing him in her car. Stem informs Gray that she planted a bug in his jacket. In a pursuit, Gray successfully evades Cortez by causing another car to collide with hers. Subsequently, Gray locates Fisk's residence and engages in a confrontation with him. Fisk discloses that he was hired to target Gray, and Ash's death was an added incentive. Gray taunts Fisk upon learning that Cirque was his brother, boasting about killing him. Seizing an opportunity when Fisk is off guard, Gray fatally injures him, causing him to fall and have glass pierce his head. After retrieving Fisk's phone, Gray discovers a message that shows that Aaron was the one who ordered the attack on him. Gray confronts Aaron at his laboratory, believing that Aaron orchestrated the plan to leave him crippled to test Stem on him. In an attempt to shoot Aaron, Cortez intervenes and instructs Gray to discard the gun. Aaron then reveals that he was not the mastermind behind the murder plot. Instead, it was always Stem who was manipulating him. Stem's intelligence grew to a point where he desired a body of his own. Thus, he cunningly manipulated Aaron into orchestrating a series of events to acquire Gray's body, including hacking Gray's car to cause the accident. In a desperate attempt to prevent harm to others, Gray stabs his own hand, but Stem seizes full control of his body and mind, forcing him to stab Aaron in the head. Stem then takes a gun and aims it at the incapacitated Cortez. However, Gray manages to regain control momentarily and proclaims it before shooting himself in the neck to eliminate Stem's influence. Gray awakens in a hospital bed. Gray is astonished to discover Asher by his side, delighted that he has regained consciousness after the car accident. It seems as if he woke up from a coma caused by the crash. However, the reality is different. Gray's mind has shattered, enabling Stem to fully dominate his body and thoughts, leaving Gray trapped in a delusional world where he can be with Asher once more. After disclosing his dominance to Cortez, Stem callously shoots her, ending her life, and departs. Thank you for watching our movie recap. While it may seem simple, it actually took a lot of hard work and dedication to produce. If you enjoyed the video, we kindly ask you to show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel. By doing so, you'll stay updated on our latest content and help us continue creating more in-depth analyses and critiques of the movies you love. Thank you again for your support.